Hello there, everyone. I just got done watching the Xbox Games Showcase from Microsoft, of course, and I have to say, I was surprised by how good that was. The past couple of Xbox E3 showcases or summertime showcases, I think, have been pretty bad, to be completely honest, but this one really surprised me. There were exciting first-party announcements, exciting third-party announcements, most importantly, which we'll get to, and all around, just a pretty good show. There are some pacing issues in the beginning there, honestly, I think, where they show new, exciting first-party games, but it's mostly an engine, no gameplay, and that's not always my thing, so let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off, they start with Fable, which I have no real connection to Fable, and I think, here's my take, right? Fable was announced in 2020. They showed an engine stuff, maybe a tiny bit of gameplay in there, right? But no new release window. That's disappointing. The game was announced 3 years ago. If you don't have something substantial to say here, like, hey, it's coming out in fall of 2024, spring 2025, don't even show it. Just wait until next year, you know? So for me, that was kind of a miss. And another game that I think looks cool and in concept could be cool is this new title from Compulsion, the developers of We Happy Few. This is called South of Midnight, and it has this really unique art style, kind of has like the half frame rate thing going on that you see in like a movie like Spider-Verse. I'm sorry, I don't know the technological term for that, but it looks really unique, but we didn't see it. I have no idea what genre that game even is. I like the style, I like the setting, I just don't know what it is. So, the start of the show was a little weird for me, where I think a lot of Xbox fans probably were popping off for Fable, right? And popping off for this South of Midnight game, but for me, it just wasn't as exciting as I think it could have been. We then saw a new Star Wars game. I don't love Star Wars. I think Star Wars is fine. This is coming from Ubisoft, their massive studio, which this is their first Star Wars game. That's exciting. It was all CGI. However, I will say, I think for this, that's actually okay. Because they said, hey, we're going to show a gameplay kind of demo walkthrough tomorrow at our Ubisoft Forward. I think when a CGI trailer is kind of shown on the pretense that, hey, you are going to get gameplay very soon, that's fine. Like with Mortal Kombat 1 a few weeks ago, we got the CGI trailer, but the game was coming out in September. We knew Summer Game Fest was coming up. We knew we were going to see it soon. So in this case, I think it's actually fine. We then saw this new game from Thunder Lotus, the creators of Spiritfarer. I'm not going to go over every game, but I wanted to mention this just because I thought it was a little surprising, or at least funny. The trailer was funny. So it looks very Hades inspired, and I love Hades, maybe a little bit like a stiffer Hades, and that's not necessarily a positive thing from what I saw, but it's called 33 Immortals, and the gimmick here is that it's 33-player co-op. And I saw the word 33-player co-op pop up on screen, I was like, what is happening? But that looks cute. That looks cute. Hades in a multiplayer setting could be really cool. Next up, they showed Payday 3. I love Payday 2 back in the day, but I'm going to be honest, I think this is our first gameplay shown of Payday 3. We have a release date now, September 21st. This didn't really look like much of an evolution, I'm gonna be honest. It's only $40, which is interesting also, but definitely a huge Game Pass get. Now I can play it with my friends without buying it, which is great. But it just looks like more Payday, which is exciting. I like Payday. Payday 2 is like a 10-year-old game, so to see it not be much of an evolution, just from what I saw, and I haven't played Payday 2 in a long time. I played it on PS3, some on PS4, and then mostly on Switch. This didn't look like much of an evolution to me, which is weird because it's been so long. But still, that's definitely a huge Game Pass get and something I'm excited to check out. Then we saw a new Persona game that we totally had not seen before, Persona 3 Reload, coming out in early 2024, also on Game Pass. Listen, here's the thing with this showcase. I feel a little like I'm a fake fan getting excited here, because I think Atlus absolutely is the main talking point for this showcase. And we'll just go ahead and get into all three of their games right now, because they kind of spread them out. So I haven't beaten any Persona games. The only Atlus game I've even beaten, now that I think about it, is actually SMT4, and I adore that game. But I played like 20 hours of Persona 5 Royal, and I really enjoyed it. And I've decided this week, with all these Persona leaks and all this stuff happening, that I am going to, this summer, just do it. I'm taking the plunge, guys. I might do Persona 4, because at the very least, a remake of that game would be years away. And I just want to kind of, go from Persona 4, then 5, and then 3, which will get a remake. I think that's going to be my pathway here. But we'll see. But yeah, Persona 3 Reload looks great, coming early next year on Game Pass once again. But then we also got, like I said, got some other Atlus games. We got Persona 5 Tactica, another game that completely leaked. I love tactic games. This looks fantastic, honestly. I mean, Persona 5 in a tactic setting just makes so much sense. I like the chibi art style, and just the gameplay looks really good. If you like tactics games, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? But then most importantly, I would say definitely the game of the show, to be honest with you. And it's something I don't think anybody was expecting, especially with those two Persona games, is the new IP from Studio Zero, the directors and creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5. It is called Metaphor Re Fantasio. And this is a new IP from the team that makes Persona coming out next year. For Xbox, a company that is always having issue getting Japanese, publishers and developers to show up at their showcase, for them to have the reveal of the new IP from the creators of Persona, that's absolutely gigantic. I honestly still can't believe it. This is something that 3 years ago would have been a no-brainer, either at some weird Persona concert or, more likely, a PlayStation showcase. So to see Xbox get this, I don't think it said it's coming to Game Pass, which is fine, but to see them get this new IP, I mean, this is going to be the biggest JRPG next year. This is going to be one of the biggest games next year. A new IP from the people that make Persona is absolutely massive, and it looks fantastic. It has all that flair. It looks like from what I saw, perfect mix for me. It has like all the flair and style of Persona, like the menus and the character designs, and the art style is fantastic, but in like a more serious setting, like a Shin Megami Tensei game. This absolutely blew me away. I cannot wait to play this. This is what I was saying with me kind of being a fake fan. I've only played SMT4 in like 20 hours of Persona 5 Royal. I feel like I need to like do my homework, so that's what I'm going to be doing this summer, trying to catch up for Persona 3 Reload, Persona 5 Tactica, and not Project Re Fantasy. It's not a project anymore. It's Metaphor Re Fantasio. Get rid of the Re Fantasio on there. Just call it Metaphor. Metaphor is a good name, but get rid of that. Then we saw a game that I thought for sure would actually end the showcase, and that is Avowed. This was announced back in 2020 as well. This is the new fantasy RPG from Obsidian, the creators of Outer Worlds, as well as Fallout New Vegas. I thought this looked fine. I'm going to be honest. I don't like these games that much. They're not really that for me, like these first-person, open-world kind of RPGs, Western RPGs. Not really for me. I thought it looked fine. I don't really have much to say about it. Coming out next year, good to have a release window on it, but I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm sure, I know a lot of people are excited for that game, and Obsidian does great stuff, but not really for me. Skipping over some stuff here, we had Sea of Thieves DLC, Microsoft Flight Sim DLC, getting a Dune crossover, which is funny, and then we saw Hellblade 2, and this actually disappointed me. I didn't finish Hellblade 1, I played maybe half of it, and I put it down. I kind of want to get back to it and just finish it, just to see it through to the end. I didn't love it, though. However, I think it is egregious for this game, which was announced in 2019 alongside the Series X, to not only show up for a second time, but a third time. I believe this is the third time we've seen this game without just raw gameplay. Listen, they can say it's in-engine all they want. They can say it's running on Series X, gameplay, cutscene, all they want. This is the third trailer for this game, almost 4 years after it was announced, and we have not just seen gameplay. Stop. Don't show it unless it's ready. And it says coming 2024, not early 2024, it could be, but 2024. How? I mean, just wait to show it if you're really not ready. So this one was a miss for me. I can't believe they still don't have a more concrete window or something more substantial to show. Like, we don't know anything different now than we did 4 years ago with Hellblade 2, which is just crazy to me. Next up, we got another surprising announcement that I wouldn't have expected at an Xbox showcase, especially because we just saw the first trailer for a spinoff, I guess, but spinoffs in this franchise, I don't even really... It might as well be a mainline game, with the Like a Dragon Gaiden game that was at Summer Games Fest. Like a Dragon 8 was announced, though, which we knew was coming, but we hadn't seen it. Really cool trailer. Yakuza, another franchise that I have not played. I played a little bit of Judgment, which is not Yakuza, but it is Yakuza. Same studio, right? But this trailer was awesome with Ichiban. I guess he's getting isekai'd into America. He somehow ends up in America, and he's a streaker on the beach. Fantastic. Maybe I'll finally play. Here's the issue. I want to play all the Yakuza games. I want to start with 0 and go all the way up. That's going to take hundreds and hundreds of hours. So maybe I'll just bite the bullet, swallow my pride, and play Like a Dragon, which was 7, right? With Ichiban, the little soft reboot for the series, and just start there and then maybe go back eventually, because this looks fantastic as well. And then we got a new game from Capcom, a new IP that I was really excited. I thought for sure at a first glance that this was Onimusha. And I loved Onimusha 1. That's the only one I played because it's the only one they've ported to modern consoles. I just haven't gone back. But when I played Onimusha when it came to PlayStation and Switch and all that a couple years ago, I absolutely loved it. That's one of my favorite Capcom games. I think we know it's coming from the Capcom leak, and this was just, it's similar, you know, Japanese aesthetic stylings and all that. You know, I have like the what are the like the gates or whatever, the red poles. I don't know. I'm offending someone right now probably. I thought this new IP was Onimusha. It's not Onimusha, but it looks really cool. I love that Capcom, you know, as exciting as Onimusha would be, I do like when these established developers are creating new IP and moving forward, because the thing is, I know we're still getting Onimusha. That already leaked. It is going to happen, and this is just another new game from Capcom that we didn't know about. It's called Path of the Goddess. I believe there's some other Japanese in front of that, so that's not the full title, but Path of the Goddess from Capcom. No release window, but that one looked really cool. It looked more like a kind of just action game, I would say, but still really exciting, and Capcom doesn't seem to miss anymore, so I'm excited for this one for sure. Something that really surprised me, Forza showed up and did not take up more than like 5 minutes. It was only like a 2-minute trailer for Forza. Shout out. So, you know, normally with Forza, you expect it to be a lot of the show, and it wasn't this time. Then we saw some Elder Scrolls Online, which I don't care about, and Overwatch 2, which I am a lapsed Overwatch fan. I loved Overwatch 1 when it came out. The trailer kind of confused me, because we saw a lot of stuff, like new single-player content, but they just canceled the story mode, but there are new story missions being added on August 10th. This trailer is what Overwatch 2 feels like it should have been at launch. There was actually a lot of stuff in here that makes me interested in trying it out, but it just feels like this is how Overwatch 2 should have launched to begin with. So I thought that was weird. Then they showed a trailer for Starfield, which I thought was really weird. They should have ended it with Starfield and just gone straight into the direct, but fine. Starfield doesn't really interest me. Once again, I don't love these big open world Western RPGs, but I know a lot of people are very ravenous for that. We saw some Cyberpunk DLC. I love Keanu Reeves, but once again, Western open world RPG, not really my thing. And then finally, we got the new IP from In Exile Entertainment, the creators of Wasteland. This is a first-person Bioshock-looking game, Clockwork Revolution. I thought this looked pretty good. I like steampunk stuff, and you know, this is like just a nice, like 10, 12-hour single-player game. I'm in on that. So overall, you know, the obvious highlights are Atlus. Go figure, right? Atlus showing up in a huge way with 2 Persona games and a new IP. Capcom showing up with a new IP. Ryu ga Gotoku Studio showing up with Like a Dragon 8s. And for Microsoft's first-party offerings, I think they did a pretty good job. You know, we didn't see Perfect Dark or State of Decay 3. That's fine. If they aren't ready, don't show them. They shouldn't have announced them to begin with. Fable and South of Midnight, disappointing not to see actual, like, you know, really comprehensive gameplay. But for something like Clockwork Revolution or Avowed, I think those showed up in a pretty good way. Maybe not for me in every instance, but I'd imagine if you are really hardcore into the Xbox ecosystem, you'd be very excited for these things. So overall, I really do think this is the best Xbox showcase we've had in a long time. Maybe that's my bias for my potential interest in Persona and Metaphor ReFantazio showing there a little bit, and Yakuza, because I don't actively play these games right now, but I know they look fantastic, and I know when I do play them, they will be fantastic. Basically, Xbox having Japanese games is enough to make me very interested in these conferences. So if they can keep doing this with each Xbox showcase, I'll be happy with that. I'm also curious, not to go on a little bit of a tangent here, will that new Atlus IP come to Switch? I'll probably talk about that more on the podcast this weekend with Tucker. So let me know your thoughts on the Xbox Showcase down below. Are you excited for any of the games they showed or announced here? I think in terms of new announcements, this certainly was the best showcase this year so far, because it actually announced new games and showed old ones with new footage. Fable should have had more gameplay, though. Definitely. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, folks, I will see you next time. Peace.